All right, everybody. It is 5:30 p.m. in colored people's time. And once again, it is another fine episode of Earl Grey Tuesday. And once again, it's me. It's me. It's the VINCE. And the great one has to head to the pharmacy to pick up some stuff. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go to Walmart grocery neighborhood to pick me up some fiddlings. Okay? But I got to throw out some food because me's doctor don't want me eating more white rice anymore or anything like that. So, we're going to throw out some food. We're going to get some green leafy vegetables, new medication. We're going to be all right and train. Like I said, folks, the great one has not been great, and age has caught up with me. Now, I've actually slowed things down by eating mostly a keto diet full of meat, but I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to hurt the animals that much. You know what I mean? Don't want to hurt the animals that much. Vegan Games would be somewhat proud of me, but nah, I can't eat all that meat there because that's a lot of cholesterol, and it's just not my thing. So today I'm going to pick up some medication, new stuff. I'm also dropping a bunch of them too, medication, so I only have... So it's sort of like a decrease and add one as far as things are concerned. Yes, no more white rice for the great one. Nope. No white rice, no white Twinks. I'm just kidding about Twinks. Those are still acceptable, you know. Well, I slowed down the progression by actually eating more meat, more ground beef too, so. But at the end of the day, we gotta bend the knee. But it's cool. It's all right. It's okay. The great one can still do those push-ups all damn day. The good thing is I'll be on a lot less stuff than I have been before, thank goodness. White rice, insulin stuff there, you know, so yeah, we not doing that. But in any event, got my smoky vanilla coffee. I put a little cinnamon in it and some whipped cream in it too, you know. I'm going to have one of myself a little smoky. A toki from Smoky. And naturally, folks, I got my water cup. Give it to me by my good friend Pugman. Y'all be sure to thank Pugman. And thank everybody else for contributing and keeping the channel open. And the truth of the matter is, folks, I've been doing a lot of stuff here. And a lot of stuff has been happening too, you know. And people be asking the great one, hey, what's happening, Captain? Folks, we've just had a lot of cancellations and stuff. That's what's been happening. Ever since Trump done put his name on the the Kennedy building, people have been canceling their concerts that they've been having. New Year's, Christmas, not Christmas, Christmas. And stuff. It's not my insulin levels are too high. It's just that over time I've built up visceral fat due to certain medications I have to take in order to stay alive. So we are going to move to Egrifta. So folks, let me explain to you what Egrifta is, okay? Egrifta is testosterone. Now, generally it's used for people with the heavy, the HIV and stuff, but it's also used for people who are pre-diabetic as well. Now, naturally, because I'm a Negro, I have to go and naturally be pre-diabetic. None of my family, by the way, has ever been diabetic. They've just been pre-diabetic. But due to my training and stuff like that, and the shutdown of most of my hormonal systems, thanks to all the stuff that I've taken, you know, the time is right. So I've gotten myself a prescription. I've seen it in the news. I was going to get the Samostrogen, but I'm going to get this instead. And we'll be cool about it, you know. Get rid of the visceral fat around my waist. I'm going to be looking all nice and tight by summertime. You know, I'll be able to put on one of them little tight shirts with the waist down there, you know, and stuff. Looking like, what's the name of that dude that was in Revenge of the Nerds that was tossing that thing? Well, anyway. But yeah, folks, but I'll be reducing everything, but gotta clean up things. Yes, Dean Tourmaline has passed away, former Mr. America. Yeah. But yeah, folks, we're gonna get the new year started off right, you know. Like I said, clean up everything, drop a bunch of medications that I really didn't actually need, and just stick to, you know, the good stuff, the testosterone, the growth hormone releasers and stuff. Get back into that. You get back into that drugs and stuff, you know, just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is, you know. But yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, you know, 68 or 60, what was he, like 66, 67 for Dean? Not the peak, but, you know, a pretty decent age for a bodybuilder. That's just me. But yeah, my insulin levels have been all over the place ever since my hormonal system collapsed a couple of years ago. Like I said, no endocrine system. That's why I'm on TRT to begin with. I just need to regulate the insulin. That's why I've been eating a lot more meat than I normally do. Usually for breakfast, I just have 3 eggs and 3 sausages and coffee, you know. That's how bad it's gotten there, Ryan, and that's helped out. It's stabilized the blood sugars and stuff. But yeah, when you don't have any active hormonal systems working, you know, all sorts of shit happens, you know. Why was most equipment white in the 90s? It was just a style of things. Some of the equipment was purple. Most of the equipment actually was white and purple. Purple was a huge color in the late 80s and 90s. I would honestly say stuff was a lot more colorful back then. Especially my T. Michael clown pants. Oh, y'all would have been tripping if you guys saw me in the gym with my T. Michaels. Y'all would have laughed at that. But folks, get your questions in and or donations. You know, sometimes I feel like walking back into the gym with some T. Michaels. I've really had to cut my carb meals there, Ryan. I've had to do that since the whole system collapsed a couple of years ago. That's when things started really going downhill. But I don't regret what I took. You know what I mean? I did whatever it took to show up at that show in my best condition in 2009. So regardless of all the health issues that it's caused me afterwards, I don't care. No regrets. But like I said, folks, the game is the game, alright? And, you know, I'm still alive for now and stuff, so there's that too. It could be a lot worse. Some of those gyms Chuck E. Cheese still do. Now, I only have 3 videos to review, so folks, y'all load up this, load up with more views there, more videos for me to review.
More clavicular lens.
Matthew with a $3 donation. Definitely appreciate that, Matty Matt. Let's check it out. But yeah, I've had health problems for the past 3 years. Not really major ones, but it's all because of that stuff I took whenever I was competing. That stuff just completely and slowly destroyed my hormonal system. And I mean, it wrecked it really bad. But what can you do, folks? Remember, no regrets. If you're in bodybuilding, the game is the game, and you get what you get.
I think that like Sydney Sweeney is extremely
on social media don't get a lot of likes and certainly don't get branded.
well. What are we talking about by hot? Like good looking? Like some people think that like Sydney Sweeney is extremely attractive.
I would say, I don't want to scandalize anybody, a married man. I would say Sydney Sweeney is very attractive.
I would say that she's pretty malformed. Her upper maxilla is extremely recessed, right? She's got the eyes of doom with no infraorbital support. She's really not that much of a looker in her face. I think that a lot of people with brains find her attractive because of her body.
I don't have porn. I don't know. Well, you're telling me that that if a guy finds Sydney Sweeney attractive, he's got to have porn?
I think that she's above average in looks, but certainly not that like, you know.
No, you said she's got a sunken suborbital. I forget the words that you said.
Yeah, she's got a recessed infraorbitals and a recessed upper maxilla.
You're telling me you go to a bar.
I'm just saying she's not the pinnacle of looks that I'm talking about to actually succeed on social media. She's average to above average.
Sydney Sweeney ugly? I don't think so. Alonzo with a $9.99 donation. Happy New Year to you too, and I definitely appreciate the donation here. Clavicular is one of a kind. He is. Our little white dwarf of a social media star. Everybody is talking about Clavicular, and not for good reasons neither, unfortunately. The funny thing is, he just popped out of nowhere, and next thing you know, he's just hanging out with all the hobnobbers and stuff. I guess the looks maxing revolution continues. Well, I tell you what, let's do a rate the hoe on Sydney Sweeney. I think she's pretty cute. I would give her a 9. I mean, I don't see anything wrong. She does have somewhat of a mousy face, but not really that bad. I mean, that's not exactly a good picture. Simply because of her hair, it's not correct and everything. But I give her a 9. It's just that some of her pictures, you know, she should close her mouth a little bit, but yeah. But yeah. See, it really depends on what picture that clavicular is looking at. And I'll show you why she's a 9. See, when it comes to pictures like this here, when you're in the proper frame, yeah. When rating a whore, you gotta make sure that you are getting them in the best light, in other words, if that makes any sense. Now, I'm sorry, but, you know, there's a lot of guys that will literally drag their balls through broken glass for 2 miles just to hear her fart on a walkie-talkie. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is. She is a 9, okay? I don't know what clavicular's talking about. Rate KJ. Let me close out all this stuff. I don't want to accidentally open up one of my porn videos or something. Lately, I've had a hankering to jerking off there lately. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think it's because I was watching Wolf of Wall Street again, and every time I see Matthew McConaughey talking about jerking off, it just puts you in the mood of things. I'm dead serious. I would say an 8. She doesn't look too bad. A lot of, well, actually 7, because she has a lot of tattoos. She gets marked down a point for all those. I just realized how many tattoos she has. But she looks pretty good for her age. Older white woman and stuff. What's my point type video type of choice? You know, I like the ones that are portrait frame videos, and then that way I don't, you know, you're not having to, you know, for most of these videos that are widescreen, you gotta turn it around like this and you gotta hold it while jerking. You know, it's an awkward position, so I'd rather just have it long face as far as watching my porn is concerned. Makes it a lot more easier to do so. I hate it when you have to hold it like this, and then you gotta hit that enlarge button, and then you gotta wait till it flips around, and it's just an awkward mood there. And then you gotta curve it over here, because if you put your hand right here, you're covering up the screen, so you're here holding it up like this here, you know, and stuff. Very difficult. So it's better if I have my porn in portrait mode. Maybe I gave out a little bit too much information. But hey, this is Earl Grey Tuesday. It's not like I'm running for president, folks. I have no shame at all. I mean, heck, I dressed up like a bunny rabbit. I mean, for Halloween. I mean, literally. How many times have you guys seen me in women's clothes, you know? Like I said, I do it for the mints, folks. I mean, I've worn women's clothes. I wore a freaking Playboy bunny outfit. I mean, damn.
2 more links.
Matthew with another $3 donation. Folks, I will do what is necessary for the mints, for the fellow piss troopers. Gotta bring the entertainments. All right, let's see what we got. But yeah, she's not too bad for an older white woman. Let's see what we got next here. What is that screen doing? I am not signing in. I don't know why it keeps telling me to do that.
Election cycle. Yeah, but I mean, like this next election cycle, who's going to win? It's going to be Gavin Newsom against JD Vance because JD Vance is subhuman and Gavin Newsom mugs.
JD Vance is subhuman?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
He's got a very short total facial width to height ratio. He's obese, very recessed side profile, whereas Newsom is like 6'3" Chad. Yeah, but I mean...
Oh, boy. People do go by looks as far as elections are concerned. But, yeah, that was... I don't know what the hell that was.
I think to just advocate for your average person to only concern themselves with their own.
To me, that's the big cope. I agree with many of the observations you're making about the society, but the big cope. You heard this with like the libs when they were trying to push the trans stuff, and they were upset that some of us were pushing against it. And they said, "How does this affect you?" You know, you're walking out. It's basically your society is Sodom and Gomorrah, and they say, "Well, how does it affect you?"
Sodom and Gomorrah are two cities. That's what they are. They're not people. They are cities, all right? I hate it when people make references to that. They're just two regular cities, you know?
If I decide I want to like castrate little kids in the school and redefine marriage and slaughter babies and sacrifice them to Moloch, and how does that affect you? You just mind your own business. And I think, how about I don't mind my own business? How about my business is my community and I have a right to enforce standards and norms that are good and traditional and conducive to flourishing? And how about you mind your own business?
But the problem is, you see what you just did there is you spiked your cortisol thinking about transgenders.
Will that max anything on me?
No, that's a very catabolic hormone. So if you're advocating for people to, go around and, concern themselves with these issues or go to, like school, like board conferences and like, be outspoken about this, that's just largely going to be unproductive. And, it might seem like a doomer mentality or like, you're just going to let society go to it's like on an individual level, it's not going to be productive.
But on a political, right. Well, look, it's been productive in as much as, at least the trans thing, there's so many other problems.
Well,
at least the trans things, though, we've kind of won on that.
Well, the way that I see trannies is like, that's one more person to mug once they brutally butcher themselves transitioning,
But is it, I see that.
Like, go descend yourself. Like, that's fine with me.
Because you're ascending yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to ascend, and this person is going to be a comical botch job, So, like, that just seems like very logical to me. Like, yeah, go be a tranny. Like, now I mug you to death.
Now, isn't... Yeah.
As far as JD Vance is concerned, thanks for the donation there, Matt. Yeah, those clavicular mints. We gotta start playing more of those. That is just insane. JD Vance indeed was a Marine. Gavin has no alpha credentials. JD Vance has a lot of alpha credentials. I mean, heck, he just recently trained with the Navy SEALs. As far as looks are concerned, he just looks like your average white man. But who cares how he looks? He's got alpha credentials. No, I definitely would not bet JD Vance. The truth of the matter is, Ryan, and I don't mean to be racist or anything like that, but he climbs in bed with that Indian woman, and nothing personal, but I don't want to go to bed smelling like patchouli or anything like that. I hate the smell of patchouli. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is. And at the same time, for some of these black women, before they go to bed, they need to brush their teeth because, I don't want to smell hot fried chicken breath on it. But sometimes, sometimes black folks it seems like every race has a certain smell. I kid you not, every race of people have certain smells to them that identify them clearly. When white people, when their hair gets wet, it smells like dog and stuff. Black folks, sometimes you can, with the hair products and stuff like that, you could smell that burned afro sheen and, that oily stuff like that, and everything, and the fried chicken and the barbecue ribs or whatever. Or sometimes they'll be putting on some Jovan Muss. Asians, you could smell that salty soy sauce and everything. Different races have different smells to them. I will just be honest with you. That is why I always that's why there's an importance to wear cologne, folks, and perfume. It's to cover up your racial smell because the racial smell can be very noxious. I'm going to be honest with you. Your race rates you on your smell itself there, and I'll be honest with you. I've slept with a lot of white dudes, and some of the white dudes, their natural scent and body odor are not very good. And I have to go to my nightstand. I'm like, hey, baby, put this on. I don't even ask them. I just go ahead and spray it on. I'm like, it's important. I always keep some Axe body spray, for situations like that, or for a tan. I'll show you what I use for tans. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back. I'm gonna show y'all guys this here. So. All right. Now, folks, if you have a tan, or a woman that has a very funky odor or so forth, this is what you want to use. This also works for twinks too. This here is, let me let the camera get in focus. This is Kenneth Cole Black for her. And believe me, this stuff works. Ah, yes. It doesn't cost that much. This bottle was $15. There's plenty of it. If your bitch smells like dog or smells like her race, you spray some of this on and you gonna be all right. And men can actually wear this. It says for her, but men can actually wear this. Feminine men, but men. Fellow piss troopers, don't put it on for yourself. Alright?
We are the Good Rum Group and we are racist against body odors.
Quick Pump with the $5 donation. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, it's not a bad thing or so forth, but every race has a certain smell. It's probably due to the level of melatonin that's in the body, or just something else there. Dietary habits and everything, all of that affects everything. Every race has their certain smell. I know that if a white person was around the corner and they were sweating and I couldn't see them, I would know that they were a white person. or a black person or an Asian or a Mexican, you know. Every race has their unique scent, in other words, you know. No different than dogs. Each dog has a Manchester Terrier will have a different scent than a pug, which will have a different scent than a Basset Hound. I'm letting you guys know. It's the tooth, man, not the truth. It's the truth. But yes, folks, go and get a bottle of this Kenneth Cole Black for her. You will thank me for it there, especially if your whore that you're sleeping with smells pretty bad. And you know, the thing about it is you can get this. Exactly, Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, you see, white folks can't say that kind of stuff there because it sounds racist. But you know, I'm a Negro. You know, I could say stuff like that. You know. So I'm saying, I'm doing a public service for my fellow piss troopers. The reason why I'm saying it is so you don't have to. Not only that, you have plausible deniability. So if you go and tell another Negro that, you just simply tell him, hey, I got that information from Vince Goodrum. And tell them to tune into the Vince Goodrum show. So look at this here, folks. You can get Kenneth Cole Black 8 fluid ounce floral body spray for $7.98. Even cheaper than when I bought this bottle here. Although mine actually, wow, it's gone down in price. So either that or it's an end of the year sale. But this bottle here, folks, it's $8. It's just $8. Can you folks not dig that? Can you live with that? Seriously. I just don't get. And it works too. It works. And I mean, for if you got a twink or something like that, you know, or another guy. Now, folks, people got Axe body spray and stuff. I use the vintage black from Kenneth Cole for men whenever I'm in the gym, and this is also only $8. So now you guys know what kind of body spray I use when I'm in the gym. You know, and this stuff is all right. It's okay. Just gonna put that out for you. I'm about to start videos in just a minute. But yeah, folks, don't spend your money on Axe body spray. It may be cheap, but you know, you could spend just a tad bit more and smell pretty good. And I mean, if you look at Axe body spray compared to Kenneth Cole Vintage Black, you're talking about only spending $1 more. And plus, here's the thing. You get an 8-ounce can of Kenneth Cole Vintage Black. And you only get 5.1 ounces of Axe, so you're actually saving money. Yes, it will increase your black credentials. And you'll have an opportunity to get double dicked by black folks too. So hopefully, if that happens, make sure you got a lot of petroleum jelly around raw food. I get comments when I put on cool water, but my imposter perfume decor too weak. Never use imposter cologne there, Chuck E. Cheese. Folks, don't use any imposter colognes. Don't wear fake watches. Don't wear fake leather or anything. Alright, so if you got any imposter colognes, get rid of them. Alright? I'm telling you right now, get rid of them. I'm going to turn off this music. Chuck E. Cheese, if any of you guys got any imposter colognes, get rid of them. Okay? Because not only is the stuff not made right, but it plays into your psyche. So it's the same with fake watches. All right? You walk by, someone tells you you smell good. What are you using? You can't tell them that you're using cool water. You have to, when you say you're using cool water, it makes you kind of nervy because you know that that's an imposter cologne. It's the same with Rolex watches. With fake Rolex watches and fake Vacheron watches, you walk up and someone says, nice watch. What kind is it? It's a Rolex. Which means you got to lie about your stuff. You got to lie about your cologne. You lie about your watch. You lose confidence here. And the worst thing is that when someone actually spots a fake Rolex, and they may just ask you that question just to test you, you're going to look like a dumbass. There's no need to wear one of those watches or wear imposter colognes. There just isn't. So before I begin the video, since we don't got much, I am going to do this here. Here's what I'm going to do. So we're going to do it like this here.
So I'm starting this list off with a gem.
So this video was 4 years ago. This is 20 cheap fragrances that smell expensive under $20. Now the price has gone up slightly, but we're still talking about $25. I like Antonio. Antonio's around my age. So I'm going to speed this up and then we're going to get started with videos. I think it's time I played this again. I played this before. But, we got to get some education in here.
That I picked up for less than $8. And that wasn't for a sample. That was for 88 mils or 3 flowing ounces.
3 flowing ounces.
The fragrance I'm talking about is 1973's Jovan Musk. And the name is accurate. This is a musky, warm, aromatic, spicy fragrance. Top notes are going to be carnation, pepper, lime, and lemon. In those middle notes, we're going to see lavender, a bit of spice, amber, and mint. And the base of this fragrance, the strength, you've got those musk and wood notes. And let me be clear, this is a fragrance that's not going to please
No, I wouldn't eat a churro.
the masses. This is a classic fragrance. This is a barbershop fougere. This is a masculine scent with that musk, with a bit of floral notes, with that aromatic scent. This is something that's going to hark back to your father, to your grandfather, when they were a young man, when he was picking up your grandma. Seriously though, if you like classic fragrances, Jovan Musk is a banger at a rock bottom price. In today's video, gents, I'm listing out over 20 fragrances, well under 20 bucks.
So pay attention. This is $20. This is what this video will demonstrate. You don't need imposter ones. You can get some pretty good ones for a low price.
So that first one, not everyone's going to love. But if you want a crowd pleaser, again, under $9, check out Cuba Gold. This is a lavender, woody, aromatic vanilla fragrance that is very sweet and is a crowd pleaser because it's a clone of a very popular, more expensive fragrance. Can any of you guys guess which one it is? Going once, going twice? Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male. Now, are they exactly the same? No, of course not. This one's going to last longer and it costs upwards of almost $100. This one here, under $10. A no-brainer if you're looking for a sweet fragrance that's going to draw her in. Opening notes on this are pink pepper and grapefruit. Lavender and vetiver are going to make up the mid. And making up that base, you got vanilla, amber, and tonka bean. Those are strong. This is a sweet fragrance throughout the life of it. Now, what if you want a fresh fragrance? You want something with a bit of citrus, something for the spring, for the summer? This next fragrance I picked up for $12.34, and I bet 99% of you have never heard of it. The fragrance I'm talking about came out of Japan in 1997, and it's called Hane Mori. And yes, I know I probably just butchered that pronunciation, but guys, I'm trying. And if you've watched my videos and you've seen me mispronounce things, do me a favor, smash on that like button. That way these videos are found by more people. Now, this is a vanilla, citrus, woody, aromatic fragrance that's incredibly complex. Top notes are going to be citrus and aromatic. We've got lemon, we have the black currant, we have a bit of lavender, and we've got some green
That's
notes.
$12, folks.
In the heart, we jump into florals with jasmine, iris, rose, and lily of the valley. The base of this fragrance is where it really shines, especially if you put a little bit more on. I'm talking 8+ sprays. Vanilla, tonka bean, chocolate, sandalwood, amber, Virginia cedar, and oak moss. Now, the bad news is you only get a 50 ml bottle, but the great news is this is a really good, complex fragrance that most people overlook, and that's just simply because they're not familiar with these Japanese brands. This right here is an amazing fragrance. And if you go out there and look, you're going to see both an EDT and EDP. I own both, and I really can't tell the difference. You're also going to see him. This one's going to be a bit more spicy. I have all 4 of their fragrances and absolutely love them. Now, speaking of sizes, let's talk about those smaller sizes you're going to see out there. The great thing about this is that you can save money and you can get like a 1 ounce, but is a 1 ounce enough? So I'll tell you, you're going to get about 475 sprays out of a 1 ounce bottle. Depends on the atomizer, depends on the fragrance, but I will tell you that the average 100 ml is about 1,400 sprays. So you're still going to get like 3 months use out of this. If you're a heavy sprayer, maybe a month and a half. Point being is this is more than enough for you to be able to get a good feel. And if you can find a lot of these, both of these here by Dunhill, I found both of these under 20 bucks. This one, yes, has a fancier bottle, still 1 ounce. Right here, I've got Desire. I've also got Desire Blue. This one has a bit of an oceanic with citrus. This one's citrus with just a bit more of a sweet vibe. Both.
Quick pump, get rid of it. If it's a knockoff, get rid of it. You don't need it. Pay attention to this video. I love you, Quick Pump, not in a homosexual type way, but get rid of all of your imposter colognes. You don't want them.
Them a little bit synthetic, so if you don't like that, then don't try these, but I still like both of them, and again, well under 20 bucks. And speaking of Dunhill, I'm going to go ahead and throw in Dunhill Racing. This is a great spring fragrance, summer fragrance. This is going to be a citrus aromatic, just a beautiful fragrance, and if you're willing to spend a bit more, like just over 30 bucks, under 40, you can get the bottle, full bottle, which I absolutely love. Again, just the design and build. I know it's over 20 bucks, but it's a beautiful bottle, and to me, Dunhill makes some really good fragrances. Now let's get back to the super deals. We're talking 100 ml for under 10 bucks. $9 here. You've got the classic Aspen. This is an aromatic fougere. It's a woody, fresh, clean fragrance. This classic fragrance came out in 1989. Top notes, you're going to have bergamot, lemon, galbanum, and green notes. In the middle, we're going to have more aromatic and florals with lavender, juniper, geranium, coriander, orange blossom, and jasmine. In the base, we're going to have oak moss, cedar, balsam fir, musk, and amber. This fragrance reminds some people of stepping into a pine forest. Some feel it's a bit synthetic, but for under 10 bucks, if you've never smelled it, you need to give it a shot. This is worth a blind buy, and it's a
They did stop making this for a while, but I think they're making it again. But there's still plenty of bottles available.
classic men's fragrance that isn't going anywhere. And speaking of classics, a list like this would not be complete without Davidoff's Cool Water. As you can see, I've got the original along with a few other flankers. Now, to be honest, unless you buy a small bottle, you're going to be hard pressed to find this under 20 bucks. I was able to get this one well under 20, but this one right here just over. So with that being said, I'll leave that one off the list, although I still highly recommend it. And I'll bring in another Davidoff fragrance, which you can find for under 20 bucks, and that is Zeno. So in case you don't know, Zeno is the first name of Davidoff, the guy that founded this entire brand. And Davidoff, I know some people say they don't have a lot of great fragrances except for Cool Water. I disagree. I think Davidoff has a great line, and I own probably like 15 of their fragrances. But this one is easily one of the ones you can find the cheapest, and it's overlooked. It is going to be a bit more masculine. Came out in 1986, but it's not dated. And it's a bit sweet. It's got this patchouli in there, but this is a woody, strong, manly man fragrance. It's not over the top, though. It's got enough sweetness that I think a lot of guys could pull this off. Top notes are bergamot, Brazilian rosewood, lavender, and clary sage. Next up, we got a lot of florals right there in the center. We've got rose, geranium, jasmine, and lily of the valley. At the base, we've got sandalwood, cedar, patchouli, and vanilla. Like I said, this fragrance gets overlooked all the time. Cool Water is the cheapie that everyone goes to in the Davidoff family, but this
Chuck E. Cheese, that's why I'm playing this video.
Blind buy, and this is a solid, cheap, and just
This is one of my favorite ones.
Now, really quick, interrupting my own video here because I want to share with you guys the update on Mission Fragrances. If you haven't heard, this is my fragrance line that's going to focus in on the feel better, to perform better. Imagine if you could have a certain fragrance that now, at this point, I've got a couple usual suspects. You've seen these on list before. We have Nautica Blue. I picked this one up for $11, and then I got Nautica Voyage. Picked this one up for $14. Again, I'm grabbing these on discounters across the web. Down in the description of today's video, I will link over to another video that goes into more detail how to get these amazing deals. But I'll tell you that both of these fragrances are good. They're not like amazing in terms of going to last forever. But here's the thing, 14 bucks, and I would say that Nautica Voyage of the two is better, has a little bit more depth. It's got a little bit of that oceanic smell. This is a solid summer fragrance. This could be a signature scent for a lot of you, especially younger guys, or you're 34 and you're just simply changing careers. You want to smell good this summer? Grab Nautica Voyage. That being said, you're up for spending 14 bucks. You want to smell like a man. You want to go a little bit old school? Check out Quorum. This is a woody.
Folks, I'll tell you right now, don't. You got to have some true alpha credentials to wear Quorum, okay? Quorum is a bully cologne. It's similar to my Langerford Classic. You got to have some real alpha into you in order to smell it. It's something that your dad probably sprayed on and picked up their mother with.
mossy. This is a masculine scent, and this thing has balls. It will last quite a while, and that's one of the reasons I love it. It's definitely something that, yeah, I mean, for 14 bucks, you could blind buy it. And if you want something a bit more aquatic, again, it's got some cojones to it, but it's lighter and it has more of an aquatic feel. Check out Quorum Aqua. This one I think was 15 bucks. So yes, if you're a big spender, go grab this one. I get it though, you want something sweeter and you got a little bit more money to spend. Let's say $15, $16. Rochas, man. This is going to be a coffee sweet vanilla. I've talked about it before. It's just a great deal. It's got a kind of a funny looking bottle here, but I will say it came out in 1999, so it's a little bit older of a fragrance. And again, the ladies love sweet fragrances. So this one right here is a good one to go with. Now, what if you want the most bang for your buck? You're willing to spend just a bit more because you're going to get paid in volume. Guys, 8 ounces of goodness right here. Great flannel. So if you want a greener fragrance, you want a woody fragrance, you want a classic fragrance that you can splash on in the morning, and yeah, you can be generous because 8 ounces here for 17 bucks, guys, gray flannel is a great place to start. And again, gents, don't be fooled by the price. This fragrance came out in 75 and it's a relatively complex fragrance. Top notes are going to be lemon, bergamot, neroli, petitgrain, and galbanum. Middle notes are violet, iris, geranium, mimosa, sage, and rose. At the base, we've got cedar, vetiver, oak moss, tonka bean, and almond. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't smell any almond in this, but if you want a classic aftershave that you can be a bit generous with in the morning, gray flannel is a great place to start. That being said, if you got 23 bucks, Paul Sebastian is a good choice as well. And now that I've busted that $20 mark, I might as well talk about a few other fragrances. They're going to be just above that. Some of the more popular ones you're going to see out there, the CK line. You're going to see one, you're going to see B, you're going to see one right here.
I usually buy CKB, and you can get a big bottle of that for $29 at Sam's Club.
Shock. Oh, which one should you go with? These are going to be fresher, they're going to be clean, and they're incredibly popular for a reason. They are non-offensive, they simply work, but they are relatively weak. I do think Shock is actually a decent winter fragrance. If you're looking for something cheap, it's going to have a little bit strong, a little bit heavier of a vibe to it, but these ones are perfectly fine, but you can find them all over the place. Do I highly recommend them? No, but if you happen to have one fall in your lap, why not? Now, surprisingly, Mont Blanc has some
Well, gray flannel is more or less like an aftershave.
pretty good fragrances, well under 30 bucks. If you look around, I've got Individual and I've got Starwalker, and I'm going to recommend them because of some unique properties. So first up, Individual. The unique note, the note that's going to stand out for me is sandalwood. And I have to admit that in general, this wasn't a note that I was drawn to. And Jupe was my introduction to it, and I just don't like that. Way overpowering. But then I tried Original Santal, and I was like, this is really good, really nice. I could go for this, but this is really expensive. This fragrance is very similar. Now, is it as strong? Actually, Creed fragrances aren't strong. I would say that they're very close, but this is going to be 1/10 the price of this one right here. So if you have never tried sandalwood, if you like sandalwood fragrances, this is a good cheap.
Like I said, this one here, I used to have a bottle of this here before it got stolen. Yes, it got stolen there, but the Mont Blanc Individual, it's a great scent. I think it's almost it's even better than the Creed.
One to grab. Now, Starwalker, besides having a pretty cool name, this is a good fragrance. It's a citrus, it's going to be a bit aromatic, and the unique note in here is bamboo. But what's interesting is if you like this more expensive, Manna Fresh, right here, this fragrance and this one, very similar. Are they the same? No. And if you've got a little bit more money, you want to spend, 70 bucks, 80 bucks, definitely grab this one. But this one right here, I think if you're looking for a fresh fragrance or a little bit of a unique DNA, this one is one to try. Next up, let's talk about car fragrances. In general, there are some really good car fragrances out there. There are also some really bad ones. But if you look at Ferrari, if you look at Bentley, those have some really good options. But one that gets overlooked is Jaguar. And this is going to be their classic black right here. This is going to be a woody. It's going to be an aromatic fragrance. Is it incredibly unique? No. But I picked this up.
Whoa. Boy. All right, folks. Yeah. I'm back. Got busted. Well, that was good while it lasted there. So that's why I try to play that fast, but you guys get my point. So as far as to, inexpensive. So if you got some inexpensive colognes, if you got some imposter colognes, hold on just a minute. Hopefully they didn't cut it off. Hang tight.